Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the best and the worst for me perfumes of 2024. I decided to put the best and the worst together so we could have the good along with the bad. I thought it would soften the blow of the dislikes. You know, we all have different scent preferences, and to be honest, I genuinely hate disliking a fragrance. Like, it's not a fun thing for me, but there were definitely some releases in 2024 that I was not a fan of, that I thought I would like more, and I want to talk about those disappointments. But I also had so many favorites. A lot of what I picked actually came out in 2024, but I do have a few that were just like my most used in 2024 that I felt like deserved a spot, even if they didn't come out that year. So anyway, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna go back and forth from love to hate. It's a strong word, but you know what I mean. It was truly the year of gourmands, and this one from Cirque du Soleil really surprised me. I saw ads on this on Instagram. That's what got me to initially be excited, and the bottle was beautiful, the packaging was beautiful. They really sold the fantasy, and so I went for it, and this one's actually good. This boasts notes of cotton candy. I think it's like caramel apple kind of stuff going on. Popcorn's in here. Think of the foods at a circus, and with notes like that, I was a little nervous it wouldn't, I don't know, I didn't know how it was gonna translate, I guess. You know, it's a lot going on, but it is so good, so yummy. I definitely get the popcorn in here, but I love that it's not overly popcorny. It doesn't smell like a popcorn jelly bean or something like that. It just kind of grounds this, and I feel like kind of cuts through some of the sweetness. I also really do pick up on the freshness of the apple that's in here, but with all that, there is a lot of sweetness coming through. You can smell the vanilla, you can smell this kind of sweet sugary scent, but I would say that this still has kind of a rounded, almost like a hazy vanilla sweetness to it. It's a pretty cozy gourmand, and I find in the dry down that it really just dries down to a really nice vanilla. So I really love this. I think it delivers on the spectacle, but also is still wearable enough that, you know, it's not all spectacle and not like a good perfume also. So I was really happy with this release. I thought it was a great one, and they do have a travel size. So if you've been thinking about this, they recently came out with that. So you don't have to splash out on the full bottle if you're not ready, which I get, you know, but a beautiful gourmand, very foodie while still being wearable, and just one of the many gourmands you're gonna see on this list. A lot of my disappointments this year aren't necessarily about bad perfumes. I mean, to truly hate a scent, there's so many scents that like I would never wear, but I feel like perfume is artistry, and I can still understand how other people might like things, but I did have anticipated launches or things that I thought could have maybe been better or gone a different direction and whatnot, and one of those was the Charlotte Tilbury launch this year. I did a whole video on these fragrances, so you can check that out if you're interested, but the perfume I got when I took the test online on the website was the Love Frequency scent. This one is like a peppery kind of rose, which is not my normal, so I don't know if that really got it. I like the green one, maybe called Magic Energy. I don't know. All the names were very interesting. And this isn't a bad perfume necessarily. Again, it's just not my preference, and I actually don't have any issues with the bottle. I know a lot of people were not feeling the bottles. I think it's a cute little potion. Like, I don't mind any of that. I just felt like the entire launch, there was really just nothing I was super into, and I feel like there was a great opportunity for there to be something just slightly more likable. And in some regards, I do respect the fact that these perfumes fall in line with her other fragrance that came out. I believe it's called like Scent of a Dream, which has a more vintage kind of feel to it, and it kind of goes along with the old Hollywood aesthetic of the makeup line. But with, I think it was like 6 new launches and these kind of different bottles, I was hoping we would get, I don't know, at least some kind of nice vanilla, I don't know, just one in there for me. I thought more sex was okay, but in general, I'm just telling you, it just was a bit of a disappointment for me. I think I was surprised that it wasn't a more safe launch, to be honest, but I'm sure for the people who find a fragrance, they not only found one that they like, but that they love, because I do find them to be a little less mass appealing than I kind of was hoping for. So I don't know. It was a disappointment for me for the year, especially because I was excited for it, but let me know your favorite or least favorite. My least favorite by far is Cosmic Power. Not the one for me. Next for loves, I absolutely fell in love this year with Lake and Sky's release. This is the 1111 Vanilla. I ran to my Ulta to get this on the day that it launched. I saw it on Instagram. I was so excited for it, and it's a really nice, clean, musky vanilla. This year, not only was I very into vanillas, very into sweet scents, but I also feel like more than ever in my perfume journey, I just wanted an easy reach, baby. I wanted something that I want to put on all the time. I don't don't necessarily have to think about if it's appropriate, this, that, whatever. Like, I was just drawn to things that were my preference, but also kind of simple and a little less niche smelling overall. And I feel like that's definitely reflected in my picks for this year. But as you can see, the dent doesn't lie. I barely have any left. I have a backup waiting in the wings because I got it on a great deal during Black Friday. This is a perfect, like, after the shower, clean, kind of comfy, cozy vanilla. Again, it has this muskiness to it, which Lake and Sky kind of is known for, or I feel like that's a big part of the house DNA. The full list of notes on this: star apple, sea salt, vanilla, passion flower, marshmallow, musk, teakwood, amber. I personally do not get the fruitiness from this, so I kind of like that. The marshmallow in here, think of something definitely fluffy, maybe even more on the powdery side. It's not as ooey gooey as some marshmallows can be, and again, the sweetness is just paired with something that is, I feel, very balanced by the musk, and even that sea salt. If you're into something like clean reserve skin, I think this would be a good vanilla for you. I do find this maybe a little bit sweeter, but oh so good. And when I first got this, I walked in to get a drink and immediately someone was like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. I was like, getting compliments already. All right, love to see it. Just a great one. I love a little cozy after shower, clean feeling vanilla, and this one does it for me. I love it. Back to dampen the mood. Let's talk about a disappointment. This one from Net is called Pear Jam. I believe this came out this year. Let me make sure. Yeah, it did. And I, had Net as a brand on my list, and so I was excited to just try the house more. This one though, I had a very specific reason for disliking, and that's because, sure, when you first smell it, it smells like a sweet pear, kind of smells like a hair product, like it's juicy. You can smell some of the florals, but my nose, and it still comes back. Oh yeah, there's just something about this. It hits my nose like a dirty mildew dish rag. Okay guys, like, yikes, 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 yikes. I hate that because I want it to smell so good, but it's almost like, yeah, someone washed their hair with something great and then their hair just sat and like the middle of their ponytail never dried and it got mildewed out. It just literally smells like a dirty mildew rag, and I'm sorry, that is not for me. I'm sure people could enjoy this fragrance and maybe not smell that. It feels very distinct for me, but it is hard not to smell it. Other people smell pickles when they smell stuff. This is a mildew dish rag. Okay. Yikes, 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 yikes. So that one was it just really didn't work for me at all. Pear Jam, not the pear for me. Although Tay Vanille did not make it into the video, but I love that one from them. That is my top for sure from Net. I guess for the next favorite, I'll talk about another one where I went through the bottle. So this is my second bottle, okay? This came out this year, Vanilla Skin from Phlur in the EDP. They did come out with a Vanilla Skin body mist first, and I really did like the body mist. And when this came out, I kind of was like, save your money, just get the body mist, but I take that back. This is better than the body mist. I'm sorry, it is. This is an airy, sweet, sugared vanilla that has a pepperiness to it, a woodiness to it. It is just so freaking good, and I really feel like the magic of this fragrance happens once it's on your skin, happens in the sillage. It just like carries on the wind. I get whiffs of this and I'm just obsessed with it. Another really easy reach, and I love it for bed. I love it before bed. I mean, all the time. This is just such a great everyday kind of scent. It just took a second for it to really work its magic on me and for me to love it. And I feel like this one gets some decent wear time. It's just, I might go anosmic to it, which means basically I just can't smell myself, but other people can. And then again, I'll get like whiffs of it here and there that I'm like, oh wait, it's happening. The magic's still happening. So highly recommend this. Again, I've repurchased it because I used it all the way up. I was just like, I was draining my bottle. I loved it so much. There was a moment during the summer that this was like all I could wear, all I wanted to wear. Like I was neglecting everything else at that moment. So love, love, love this fragrance. I'm glad I came around to it. I know this one has a lot of hype online, but I really do feel like it's true. It's so good. I swear all my picks are freaking vanilla, you guys. I did want this video though to be kind of a capsule of what was happening in perfume for me in the year. So as much as some of these are repeats after repeats, in a way, I thought it was appropriate. Well, since we're on the topic of Phlur, I do want to talk a bit about some of the body mists that came out this year, and these ones were also ones I really was excited for. And again, it's not like I hate them. Some of these in the kind of disappointing part of this video are more just like I thought I would like them more, or I thought again they could be better. They're just not quite right for me despite what I thought maybe they'd be. So there were these releases. They all kind of released at the same time. There's Heavy Cream. There's, oh my gosh, another thing I hate, that the lids don't stay on. Caramel skin and coconut skin. I feel like all of these sound so great, and after the hype and amazingness of vanilla skin, I was on board. I was so excited for these, and they have some yummy notes. Okay, coconut skin has palm leaf, caramel gelato, coconut, frangipani, tiara blossom, jasmine absolute, there's liquid sandalwood and salted amber. I think that sounds amazing, but there's just something about it. It's just too much for me as a coconut scent. It is kind of a gourmand coconut. I get that caramel gelato in there, but there's also, I don't know, it grates on me. It grates on me. This one doesn't work for me. Heavy cream is probably my favorite. It's more like a showery creamy note. The actual notes are lemon, sugar, marshmallow. I mean, that sounds amazing. I don't want to talk about it this way. Orange, jasmine blossom, coconut cream. There's embretellide, vanilla mousse, salted caramel, whipped cream. Again, delicious, yummy notes. And I get them in here. Do not get me wrong, but it still just doesn't do it for me. There's like an artificial sweetness in here that I do think comes off maybe just a little cheap, and I don't know, it just, again, despite the notes, you know, it's not quite for me. I have not really reached for it since it launched. I was very hyped for it, and again, it is my favorite out of the three I'm mentioning here, but I don't know, there's just so many other vanillas I go for. And then caramel skin, I really wanted to make this one work for me, but it's a pretty thick, dark, to me, almost on the verge of being burnt caramel kind of scent. Notes are bergamot caramel, warm milk, vanilla bean, caramel cream, brown sugar, sandalwood musk. Again, I love that notes list. That gets me so excited, but this one, it's foodie, okay? It is, again, deep to me in a way that just makes it hard to wear. And I did mention in some videos, but this at certain times of the year and again on certain sniffs will kind of turn my stomach. Like, it's just not the foodie scent for me despite my love of Gourmand. So I don't know, they weren't as great as they should have been for me, but I know other people love them, so they might be ones to check out if you like something really foodie, you like the idea of these body mists. And I will say, for body mists, I think they're pretty strong, so that's kind of nice, but yeah, they weren't quite it. They weren't quite it. On to some more favorites. This one is an expensive one. This is a niche one, and it is so good. It did not come out in 2024. I believe this came out in 2023, but I bought it in the summer of last year, and oh my gosh, if you're looking for the most, to me, high-end yet fruity scent, this still smells so elegant, Narco Oasis from Narcotica is the one. This is a beautiful, fruity passion fruit scent. There are lots of other notes in here too, but I do feel like that's pretty prominent, and it gives it a tropical fruit scent. There's also blood orange in here, black currant, there's peach and pear, but what I think really saves this from being too tart, too fruity, and to me, sometimes fruity can just smell, depending, you know, a little bit more fun, flirty, and sometimes it can go cheap to my nose, but this has brown sugar and it has some vanilla, and I feel like it kind of just rounds it out. It softens it. There's just something about this scent that smells like high-end fruity. This is like the best tropical vacation you could ever go on. I feel like it is just like luxury resort type of stuff, you know what I mean? It's a matching white linen set, you know, on the beach. Like, it just smells so freaking good. I absolutely love it. Not only that, I do love the sprayer on this. It's just so good. The only thing, and it makes me kind of sad, but I do not think that this has the best longevity to it. So if that is gonna just break your heart, which it breaks mine too, especially for the price, but I can't get over this scent. So I love it, I put up with it, but it does not have the longevity that I feel like it should have. So just gotta point that out. Also, to give you a picture, it's kind of like the Trident orange gum, but like, again, the best version of that in a perfume you could ever imagine. So I love it. I'm not always a fruity girl, you know. I feel like it takes a lot for me to truly love a fruity scent. Like, sure, I can get down with it for a summer moment, you know what I mean? But to like have it in a favorites video, like to have it be something that stands out top 10 of the year, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So love, love, love Narco Oasis. It is so freaking good. I swear these next ones, it's gonna look like I just hate body mist, which I don't. I do love a body mist. I think there's a place for a body mist for sure, but these ones from Kopari, I was excited about. When these came out, I bought them in the set. I was pretty hyped and excited for them. I felt like it was a great launch for the line, but I don't know how to explain this, but every single one, it's about the way all of these are constructed. There's not one that doesn't have this kind of strong perfumed weirdness to me. Like, I genuinely know that's not that helpful, so I'm very sorry, but I just feel like every single one of them, I'm like, when I sprayed them, I was like, what the fuck? What the? Okay, it's like never what I expected. I'm like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. It's almost like they weirdly smell like cheap and generic, but then at the same time are very distinct and different than other body mists too, which is part of the reason I don't like them. So they just fall into this weird in between where out of all the body mists, I just found them a little forgettable when they could have been something just absolutely amazing. And just, again, not the ones for me. Not the biggest deal. I'm sure some people really like these, but I'm gonna continue on with another fruity scent I really loved last year, and that was from Brown Girl Jane. This is Carnival. Oh, I love this one, and it's because it's very much a nostalgic scent for me in a way. This is a mango heavy fragrance, but it's also heavily woody, which again, I like those woods. I like things to balance out fruits, like I said. If something's straight up fruity, I just don't tend to love it as much unless it's like cotton candy. A cotton candy fruity scent, okay, maybe I can get down with. There's just something to this scent that smells like sexy and playful and fun, a little spicy. I believe there's pimento in here, which I think is just so fun. It doesn't smell like immediately that, but once you know that's in here, you're like, oh yeah, I totally get it. For a full list of notes, there's mango, agave nectar, jasmine, amber musk, ginger, vanilla, pimento, and sandalwood. Just so good. It does get a little powdery in the dry down. There's still some spice again coming from not only the pimento, but that ginger too, which I tend to smell ginger in fragrances as, yes, something spicy, but also it adds like this buzziness to a fragrance. I don't know how else to explain that, but that's kind of what I get from this. Like, again, anything that has ginger in it in my collection, I'm like, okay, that's ginger to my nose. I just love how everything cuts through the mango fruitiness and sweetness in here. You still get that, but it does smell kind of like a creamy sandalwood that's like been drenched in a mango nectar. It's so freaking good. Like, I want this as a drink, and it reminds me of a candle from Bath & Body Works that I have been dying to have that scent. I've literally looked that candle up. It was called Mango Beechwood, to see if I could buy it from someone, but it's like been that long. But I loved that candle from them, and I swear, at least to my memory, this is like the perfume version of it, and I just love it. I think it is so good. Another fruity scent that truly captured my heart, and I felt like it was very unique too for a mango scent. There was lots of mango coming out. I feel like in general though, Brown Girl Jane has some really good fragrances. I'm telling you, all of my like disappointing picks are all like in categories and collections, but Sol de Janeiro, I really love so many of the body mists, and it's not that these aren't good. These were like the ones that came out for summer. I was excited for this. I mean, this reminds me of like the very beginning of last year because they were like teasing it, all of that, but I just want these to be just so generic. And as much as I get excited for the limited edition launches and all of that, I just feel like every time I get them, I never use them as much as I do the main scents in the line. I just think those are better picks. I think that they're better scents overall usually. And especially this year, I felt like these just, again, were very forgettable to me. Like, just so forgettable. I did a review on them when they came out. Again, I was pretty hyped, but they just, I'm like, oh, okay. Will I get them again if they come out again this year? I'm not saying I won't buy them and I won't get into the hype, but I also want to review them for you guys. But when I'm really looking at my personal use, what I'm reaching for, what I'm loving, what I feel like is a great pick for me in my collection, these don't make it to the top, baby. They are at the bottom for sure. And instead, I would suggest the 59 scent that just came out, I believe, in 2024 last year. That one was pretty good. I especially love it in the body wash, which is more recent. I love the pink one. I love the original Boom Boom scent. So those to me are better picks than trying to chase these limited edition. I know they did bring these back though. So again, I think I'm alone on this one. I think a lot of people love these. So, if you love them, I love that for you, but I really don't reach for them outside of that moment, that very, very moment. A body mist I did really like, okay, and I actually enjoy and recommend. Way did drop the St. Bart's body mist, and I was a huge, huge, huge fan of the scrub. I believe that's the first product that launched in the St. Bart's scent. Obsessed with that body scrub, obsessed with that scent. I loved it. Then we got a lotion and we got a body wash, and they teased the mist and they finally came out with it, and I was so stoked. I actually bought two at launch. I don't know, I was just like freaked out that it was gonna be limited edition. I didn't necessarily need it, but I have made a dent in this, and this for a tropical scent is another one. If you don't want to splash out for Narco Oasis, which they aren't the same scent, don't get me wrong, I feel like this can give you a similar bougie vacation vibe, and honestly, longevity wise, they kind of last the same, and that's sad. That really is. Okay, anyway, the notes on this are different than you would expect me to like, than I would expect me to like, but that's why you gotta smell everything, okay? You gotta smell it all, and sometimes it's nice not to even know what notes are in something, so you don't even judge it. You just let your nose do the judging, you know? What do you actually like? But here's what's in here. Orange oil, there is dragon fruit or pitaya, sea notes, tuberose, orange blossom, Moroccan jasmine, lots of white florals in here, which again, that's the part that I'm like, wow, okay, but I love it. And then amber and musk, but there is a sweetness coming from those fruity notes and a really nice creaminess that comes through. It is just a beautiful scent. I also think this pairs really well with sunscreen. So if you're truly like out in the sun, it's like a beach day, I think this works really nicely. I'm actually surprised that maybe they'll come out with a sunscreen. I think that would be a great launch for them. But anyway, another scent that just smells like a luxury vacation to me. I love this also. I just think of white, like clean white. You smell good, but again, it's not like too much. It's really an easy wear and it's great. I believe they came out with a bigger size of this too. This is just the small size. Highly recommend it. A great, great body mist. And I absolutely love layering that with all the other body products. Y'all, can we talk about the disappointment that was Burberry Goddess Intense, okay? Why? I am a major fan of Burberry Goddess, okay? The original. This vanilla, ginger, lavender, I think there's cacao in here. It's just such a great everyday vanilla that isn't too sweet. It doesn't go too fruity, but is undoubtedly vanilla. And it really got me into, you know, sniping out some of the great designer fragrances that are gonna work for me, because overall I would say designer kind of DNA. I don't know if you know what I mean, but there's just kind of this perfumey quality that kind of comes along with designer scents. But Burberry Goddess showed me that I can get down with it when it's done right for me, all that. So I love this, and when I saw that we were getting Goddess Intense, I was very excited because I was hoping we'd get even more vanilla. I mean, I don't know how you get more vanilla than Goddess because there's like 3 different types of like vanilla caviar, vanilla whatever, but that's not what I get from this at all, like absolutely at all. There's technically more vanilla in here. There's vanilla, vanilla absolute, vanilla bourbon, and vanilla caviar. So they stepped it up with 4 vanillas. And the only other notes that I see listed are lavender and patchouli. I don't know if it's the patchouli adding something medicinal to this, but there's just something that comes across like less sweet, more kind of almost floral, syrupy in a way that's just not my thing. Like, I just don't quite like it. It is deeper, and I could see some people really liking that, but I was really hoping, I don't know, I was just hoping for something so different than what this is. The way the lavender and the patchouli are done in here really give it, again, something medicinal in a way that I can't quite do, and syrupy in a way that, again, I can't quite do, even if I can kind of understand it on a level. It's just not for me, not for me. Glad I didn't go for the big bottle. Thank goodness, thank you. Continuing on with Vanilla Loves. I really loved Sniff Heal the Way this year. This was such a great launch, and it's one of the pistachio scents I truly, truly love. I feel like that's been a pretty popular note now for a while, but this had like a pistachio cream vibe to it, which had me so excited. And I get that pistachio kind of almond, almost verging on that cherry kind of scent, but it has this smoothed out kind of nutty that goes into a really rich, just comforting, cozy vanilla to me. It does have Palo Santo in it as well, some woods in here. And again, I really like that combination of vanilla and woodiness. I think it just grounds it in a way that's really nice. It's a little bit of a thicker and deeper vanilla to me, so one that I think pairs nicely if it's not overly hot. If you're wearing this in the heat, it might be a little cloying, it might be a little too thick for that. And again, with a note like Palo Santo, sometimes that comes off a little smoky as well, so I would stick away from high heat on this one. But if you want something cozy, and that was what Alex L, who collaborated with Sniff on this fragrance, wanted. So I really love this. The notes on here: vanilla absolute, pistachio, Palo Santo, amber, musk, davina. I personally don't necessarily pick up on something too green from the davina, but I really love this one. And Sniff came out with a ton of perfumes this year, but this one I feel like was my top of 2024. I just really like the creaminess of it, and again, the focus on pistachio and how it was done in here, I just felt was very unique. I'm back to being a hater. Okay. Super Milk from Lush was such a disappointment for me. Yeah, why? This is stinky. I did a video on Lush. If you want to check it out, I will leave it down below. But I love Super Milk in the actual hair conditioner, the actual hair product. It smells so good. It's lemony. It has like a really nice sweetness to it. It's kind of custard-like. Like, it is just so good. It smells so good. This is Super Milk if it was bad. Like, the florals in here are amped up in a way that not only makes it smell floral, but also gives it this animalic edge. Which I don't want. I don't fucking want that. I do get the lemon, but dang, yeah. It's stinky. It smells like a little niche perfume, baby, okay? It does smell like a unique perfume. I'll give it that, you know? But I didn't want a unique perfume. I wanted Super Milk, the Super Milk I know and love. And I wanted it in a perfume, but that is not what I got from this. So disappointment for sure. Something about the way it translated into this concentrated down version in the fragrance from the hair product just didn't work. But in the favorites category, if you are looking for something at least semi-similar to Super Milk, I would go with Chelsea Morning. This also has that lemony opening, but luckily none of that animalic floral whatever the hell is going on in that one. This is straight up foodie, okay? This smells, right now I'm almost getting something kind of coffee, but it's like a toffee, crispy sugar, a little burnt. Like, the sugar is brown for sure at this point, like a liquid caramelized thing going on. It's so freaking good. It's almost like if you were eating a sugar that was crunchy and you start chewing down on it, but then it starts like getting sticky in your teeth. Like, it's kind of that kind of sweetness to it, I'm telling you. Anyway, really love this. And if you're into like gourmands, edible, like decadent, foodie type of fragrances, this is one for sure to check out from Lush. I really don't get any of like the funkiness that can come with Lush fragrances, so I do love this. It just has that strong lemon opening, I will say. There's a strong lemon opening, and then it moves into something caramelized and sweet, and it kind of reminds me in some ways actually of Unknown Pleasures from Kerosene, but something about that fragrance is a little more intense to me. This feels like a little bit of an easier but still super decadent, foodie, all that version of it. So anyway, this one's in my top. I couldn't talk about my disappointments for the year without mentioning Replica Afternoon Delight. I was so excited for this. You guys know how excited I was for this. And hey, some people really like it, okay? Some people really like the scent, but to me, this is very equivalent to the disaster that was Ellis Brooklyn Vanilla Milk was for me. I really wanted to like that, but I was getting kerosene, I was getting gasoline, I was getting just nothing good. And the notes on this seemed so amazing. It had that like cookie, Madeline cookie thing. It had whipped cream, it had vanilla. I was like, oh my gosh. And I know with the Replica line from Maison Margiela that they're really trying to create a scene. So I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we'll get something super realistic. Like, I love By the Fireplace, so I was excited, but there's like no sweetness coming off of this, okay? To me and my nose, okay? I wanna like it. I want to, and I just get vanilla milk, okay? It's kind of a salty milk. It smells like powdered baby formula to me. I don't want to smell like that. It's powdery, 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 powdery. What the? Not, what? No. I just hate it. I like hate this fragrance. I don't want it on me. If you're into a gourmand scent but you don't want it overly sweet, or if you like vanilla milk from Ellis Brooklyn, I'm telling you, this might be like your favorite. And again, people like that scent, so we're all different. We all like different things, but it was not the gourmand for me, okay? It was not the gourmand for me. Who wants some like steamed salty milk? Not me. Not me. Made from powdered baby formula? Like, no, I'm okay. I'm good. I'll sit it out. I'll sit it out. Obviously a disappointment for me. Let me know what you think of that one. Okay, I have two more in each section. I did want to give a shout out. I'm telling you, a lot of the fragrances I liked this year were not as much niche and like weren't in other categories. And I am excited, and I can feel a little bit like, as much as I am so excited for more vanillas potentially, and I do think that will still carry on as a trend into the new year. I am excited to expand my horizons, get back to some of my more unisex, woody, just other fragrances, especially as spring is coming up. I'm getting excited for some different stuff, but these last two favorites are definitely vanillas, and I wanted to mention the Fugazi Vanilla Haze. I really quite like this, even though when I first smelled it, it did take just a little bit, not of a learning curve, but this is a vanilla to me that has something a little bit different going on. I feel like you might not love this one, or there just might be more tension, or maybe you smell this as a complete just like normal vanilla, but to me, this is like a mix between Bianco Latte and Vanilla Sex from Tom Ford. I really get something like that with a little bit of like an eggy custardness going on as well. I don't know, that's what I get. There's definitely a very strong, almost kind of like muskiness, almost an animalic thing, and that's why I didn't like Vanilla Sex. I felt like it just was too almond and too much of that musky, thick, powdery kind of, it was vanilla, but it was just a little too animalic for me. Like I got the sex part a little too much for what I wanted to wear. This has just enough of that to be interesting and a little bit different without going like stinky to my nose, at least especially as I've worn this. I've really just enjoyed it more and more. And it has these elements again too of Bianco Latte where it is kind of, yeah, milky, but still kind of powdery. That's how I kind of smell Bianco Latte. And also there's almost a coolness from this fragrance, almost something minty that I can also pick up in Bianco Latte, which I know sounds like, what, a mintiness? And it's like very light. I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like it's a minty, milky vanilla. It's not, but also kind of is. It's really good. I also feel like the staying power on it is very, very nice. I really like this one. I made a decent dent in it. I do think it's more of a cold weather vanilla than something warm. Again, there is some muskiness to it. Let me read you the full list of notes. I haven't looked at them in a while. There's almond coconut milk, hazelnut mandarin, vanilla pod tonka bean jasmine, caramel cashmere wood amber and musk. I guess I get some of the coconut milk when I really know it's in there, and then I'm like smelling for that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but really to me, I just get this like hazy, I think haze is a good word, a hazy kind of musky, thicker vanilla that is milky yet powdery, has something kind of cooling going on, something a little deep, again, something a little animalic to it. It's quite good, but I love that it has still a for sure gourmand, sweet, almost kind of custard thing happening. So I really like Vanilla Haze from Fugazi. It made it to my list. I was anticipating this one, and again, when I got it, it was different than I thought, but it really grew on me in a way that I've come to really enjoy it. So that is in my favorites. And I believe they're getting that one at Twisted Lily. I don't know if it'll be there by the time this video goes up or not, but if you're ever looking for any niche fragrances, I do have a code with Twisted Lily. You can use that to save some money. And they also do a lot of samples, so if you're looking for niche samples, I feel like they have some decent prices on there as well for those. But transitioning into one of my disappointments, I talked about this in a recent video. This is the YSL Black Opium Glitter. They really tried to sell us with this marshmallow note. There's no marshmallow to be had in here. There is just florals, florals, florals. It's black opium, maybe a little bit more floral. I just think it's such a disappointing flanker. It's just not very good. And this is coming off, I feel like, a few flankers that were so amazing. The Le Parfum one was so good. The black bottle, love that for a really vanillic black opium. I really highly suggest that one. And I also really liked Over Red. That one's this kind of like cherry chapstick, kind of vanilla scent. I really like that one as well with the coffee. Like it just works really well with the already existing black opium DNA. And those flankers had me really excited that I was gonna love this with the marshmallow note, but no. The orange blossom's so strong. It honestly goes a little screechy, I feel like, on me, the way especially in the dry down. And you know what? This bottle was so expensive. Like perfume, I think we all know, has gone up so much in price, but this big bottle, I think with tax, everything was like $170 something. I'm like, go get a good niche scent, okay? Go get Bianco. No, not for this designer flanker scent. 107, like, get out of here with that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now I'm sitting here and I picked this list, but I think I need to change it. Like I'm sitting here like, I gotta mention this other one. The scent I was gonna mention was this body mist from Love Shack Fancy. This is the Sugar Blush scent. I really like this because it smells like Boardwalk Delight to me, like literally a dupe of Boardwalk Delight. And I have been loving the fragrance mist of that. I also love the perfume of that, but I like this spray bottle better, you know? It is good. It's a good release. You know, I'll shout it out here, but really what I know I need to put in here just to like really encapsulate the year is, yes, another vanilla. I know, you guys, I know. That's probably why I didn't want to put this one in here. Not only because, my God, it's like, girl, get a life. Like, how much vanilla? But I love the vanillas right now. I cannot stop wearing them. And I think I also didn't want to put this in here because this did not release in 2024, and I was really trying to pick things that came out this year. But if I'm being real with you guys, I have made the dent, okay? This thing. I didn't even really love this when I first smelled it. I'd go into Sbar and, you know, they know what I like in there. We'll be talking it up. And I thought this was really syrupy for a vanilla. And I was just like, yeah, it's syrupy. It's not quite for me. I have fallen in love with this fragrance this year. I'm obsessed. I've talked about this before, but this to me is like if you take a bite of a big fluffy marshmallow, that inside part that's like sticky if you touch it, that's what this smells like to me. It is so good. It's so sweet. It's so yummy. I just love how decadent this is. It's still very simple though overall for vanilla. I actually don't even know the full list of notes. Let's look it up. Sugarcane, vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, musk. Okay, it's simple, baby. It's so good. So different from Tahota though. It's syrupy, kind of translucent, but still kind of fluffy, a little bit sticky. It's sweet. Like, it's just so freaking good. It is kind of an expensive smelling vanilla to me as well. Like, this is a princess vanilla, okay? I love it so much. I highly recommend it. Again, this is coming from someone who was not necessarily feeling it initially, but it really has grown on me. I feel like it lasts a really long time. I get compliments. I was wearing this the other day and they were like, it smells like vanilla. And I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And they're like, I need to know what that is for my girlfriend. I was like, okay, it's Escapade Gourmand. I feel like this year I really fell in love with this fragrance. So I had to make a last minute change, you guys, I did. But we'll leave it off on a negative note. Oh, that's kind of sad, but hopefully Escapade Gourmand will shine through even when I talk about these. But another disappointing launch for me in 2024 was the Kayali Summer Set. I was excited for these, don't get me wrong, but I think there was just something about the set having to be all purchased at once. There were just a lot of other factors that I just was like, oh, I don't love it. And although a lot of these were fun, I didn't necessarily love the Marrakesh in a bottle. That one I think was more of like an orange blossom scent. The other ones were fine. Capri was okay, Maui was okay, the Maldives were okay, but also along with that, can I just show you what my sprayer looks like? Because the Kayali sprayers, I don't know what's happening, but I feel like they're getting worse with every launch. Oh, that one's okay. I promise one of them is bad. Do you see this? What the? It's just, it's a squirt, okay? It's a squirt, it is not a spray. I just felt like these were forgettable, and for all these bottles, it was like the price of one big bottle, and I would have preferred one summer launch, one bottle that was around. I think that would have been better. We got a lot of different Kayali this year. I had some that I really loved. I've had some that I've changed my mind on actually, but I felt like, for how much I was excited for and kind of hoping these would be good, there was just a lot of also disappointment in these for sure. Well guys, that's kind of my year wrap up. I know I was like a one-trick, one-note vanilla pony this year, okay? It was just like all vanillas. So if you're not into gourmands, you're not into the vanillas, I'm sure you were like, what the hell? But that really does encapsulate the taste I had this year. We'll see as my nose evolves what I get into for this upcoming year and what launches as well. But I would love to know, what were some disappointments that you had in the last year or so with fragrance? What are some of your favorites, whether they came out last year or not? What were you reaching for? What were you using? What were you even maybe repurchasing? I know for some of us that can be a big deal. I had repurchases in here. That's how much I love some of these fragrances. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed seeing what I truly used and what with time really didn't do it for me over the year. And other than that, I will be back with a video soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.